A very good afternoon to all of you. As we have business session on possibility of overseas collaboration and investment opportunities. This is a broad area, and to chair the session, we have a distinguished chairperson, Dr. Dilip Ghosh, who is the director, NutriConnect from Sydney, Australia. So he is live from Australia. I'll give a brief introduction of him. Though he is familiar to you as yesterday, he has given his keynote address. He is basically, he has done his doctoral from India and postdoc from Tufts University, Boston. And in his career, he has published more than 100 papers. And especially he has 2 books. First one is Pharmaceutical to Nutraceutical. That is a paradigm shift in disease prevention and natural medicine. Its clinical efficacy, safety, and quality. It is published simultaneously in 2017 and 2019. Whereas his latest book is on nutraceutical in brain health and beyond. It just published by Elsewhere. Actually, we have heard his lecture at Jadavpur University, as he has given Triguna Sen Memorial Lecture, arranged by Dr. Pulak Mukherjee. So on that day, actually, we know him, and he is the right person for this conference, especially this nutraceutical part. And our speakers, Mr. Shivaji Dasgupta, who is Director, Janus Life Sciences, Mr. Hikmatullah Alarov is Director, the Company of Experimental Pharmaceutical. He is from Uzbekistan. And Mr. Rajagopal JK is the Director of Dr. DRP Research and Pharmaceutical. Though Dr. DP Singh was there, but at last moment he is traveling, so he may not join. So now may I request Dr. Dilip Ghosh to chair the session and moderate the discussion. At the same time, sir, as yesterday you have less time, if you have something to speak, you can cover it today. Sir, over to you.
Sure. Thank you, Dr. Bala. Good afternoon and good day to everybody. It is my pleasure to chair this session because the topic of this session, that is the international collaboration and investment opportunity in India. This is close to my heart also, and I have been working in this area for decades. I am one of the experts in India market entry. So we are helping overseas companies to enter into India, not only in the marketing area, manufacturing, different areas of nutraceutical business. So from that perspective, I think we have experienced a lot of challenges in India, because we all know there are huge opportunity in India. But at the same time, there are a lot of challenges. So maybe in between lecture, I will discuss these challenges, and you are the best person to highlight these challenges and how to overcome these challenges. So today we have just I heard we have 3 presenters, 2 from India and 1 from Uzbekistan. Our first speaker, Mr. Shivaji Dasgupta. So he is by training, he is an engineer and has worked in a senior position as internationally reputed group, including Tata Group for 35 years. He has considerable experience in international and domestic marketing, project management for the new and innovative product and projects. Currently, Mr. Shivaji is responsible for marketing, diversification, and purchasing function at Janus Life Sciences, Kolkata. So I welcome Mr. Dasgupta to deliver your presentation.
Thank you, Dr. Ghosh, and good evening to you in Sydney, and good day to all participants spread across the globe. Thank you, Jadavpur University and team RCFC NMPV, led by Dr. Mujumdar, for providing us this opportunity to discuss the possibility of overseas collaboration and investment opportunities in the area of medicinal plants used in lifestyle products. I'll take a brief while to introduce our company to you. Janus Life Sciences is based in Kolkata. We are focused into R&D and commercialization of products that are safe to humans and safe for the environment. The management team is led by Mr. Shantanu Chakraborty, who is well known for his pioneering work in stevia. The second person in the company, in the management team, is Mr. Abhay Somani, who is a chartered accountant by training and an entrepreneur at heart. Entrepreneur for good, innovative, and environmentally safe products at heart. Coming to our bouquet of products that we have, the first and foremost is stevia. In stevia, we introduced formulations in the market first, then did backward integration, worked our way into extraction systems, and then are supporting the farmland for putting up the farming of stevia and then extraction of the stevioside at the farm gates. We think and we believe that this is the best way of promoting stevia, which is the healthy sweetener. Incidentally, we were the first company in India to introduce stevia in the market, thanks to Mr. Shantanu's untiring efforts over the last 1 decade. If you look at stevia, stevia is a product that is into a growing market phase. Cultivation of stevia is remunerative. Extraction of stevioside from stevia is equally remunerative, as are the formulation business in the country and across the globe. Our experience in the formulation business over the last 5 years has demonstrated that if the product is good, and in this case, the goodness of the product means it does not have the aftertaste normally associated with stevia. We have been able to successfully overcome this challenge, and our products have met with reasonable success in the country, and we are India's top-selling brand. The brand name is iStevia. We have a growth of about 10% CAGR over the last 5 years in the formulation business. On the formulation side, besides the normal beverage sweeteners, which is good for hot and cold beverages, we have diversified into specific sweeteners targeted for the Indian sweetmeat industry. We have premixes for sweetening of sandesh. We have premixes for sweetening of rasgullas. Work is on for developing and commercializing sweeteners which could be used for even jalebis. I am happy to tell all of you that surprisingly, the market for this zero-calorie sweetener has been good even in the so-called rural belt in the country. A large part of our Indian sweeteners are being bought by small and medium-sized sweetmeat companies spread across Bengal. When we looked at stevia and the formulations, what we found is that 90% of the steviol glycosides were being imported out of China. Mr. Chakraborty has got first-hand experience working in China, and from his experience, what emanated was that the Chinese were in only for the very large-scale farming and extraction business, which would mean a minimum farm size requirement of 100 to 150 hectares. In India, this was a big challenge because hardly anybody would have that kind of a farm holding. So the team at Janus started working on extraction system that would be commercially viable even when we are working on a small farm size. I'm happy to tell you that we have been successful in this. And today, Stevitec 100RF, which is our model stevioside extraction system, can be supported by a farmland of as small as 5 hectares if you're working in one shift, and about 10 hectares if you're working in two shifts. We have done the commercial workings for such a system, and we can tell you today firmly that it is commercially very, very viable. A unit of this size of 100 RF, we are selling at about 70,000 US dollars, which compares very, very well with what the large Chinese people have been selling on a per ton basis. Now, when we come to extraction, again, the issue is where do you get the raw materials? And that is where, again, the team at Janus started working on varieties that would be suitable for India, and working on varieties from where commercial extraction of stevioside would be possible. This led to us working across the country in various fields. And today we have been able to isolate certain varieties which are suitable for the Indian environment, suitable for Indian farming, has got enough steviol glycosides in it to make it feasible for commercial farming. I'm happy to tell you also that our technology for farming and extraction is being carried across into South Africa, into Bangladesh, in Egypt, and also we are working in Uzbekistan for our products and systems. Now, coming to the market, what we are seeing is, even if we talk about stevia being used, steviosides being used only by the population which is drastically affected by diabetes. The population of diabetic people in the world is today 450 million. And unfortunately, the numbers are growing by about 10% annually. In India, we have close to today 73 million people who have been diagnosed to be diabetic. And in India also, this population is growing at about 10%. Unfortunate, but that's true. So if you look at this population alone and just take 10% of this population as the target market for the first 10 years, this alone would be equivalent to putting up 200 extraction units of our 100 RF in the next 5-6 years. I'm sure the numbers would be much, much more if we are targeting and looking at more than 1% of the population. Our presence in the market and our experience in the market shows that if the product is good, the price band is not a very, very, very great hindrance. There are people who are willing to buy the product at a slightly premium price if they're satisfied and can get nearly the taste of sugar without absorbing the calories that are there in the sugar. So this is a focus area that we are working on and have been successful, reasonably successful, and we hope that the market keeps on growing. And here we could discuss with people in India and across the globe for licensing of the technology or having a joint venture. We are willing to have a joint venture across the globe where we participate with equipment and part financing and also help in the marketing of the product. The second product that I thought I should talk about is a botanical larvicide, which is Cardex. Again, born out of a lot of research in the company led by Mr. Shantanu Chakraborty. This has been derived from cashew nut shell oil. It is very well known that cashew nut shell oil could be a very good larvicide for the market. But the challenge was in emulsification of this. And we've been able to do it. And the efficacy has been tried and proven to be equal or if not better than the chemical larvicides that are available today. The market for this is also huge, and cashew nut shell oil should be available across the globe. We are again willing to license this technology for local use across the globe. We have uploaded 2 videos in our virtual exhibition stall. One is on the extraction system for stereosides, and the second on the efficacy of Codex on mosquito larvae. I think if people are interested, they could have a look at that. The third product that we have is not medicinal plants. It is a pectinase enzyme, which is used for improving the quality of tea in the tea factories. That is also doing well. That's all that we had to say in this presentation. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Dasgupta, for elucidating your company's activities, especially in this stevia. I would request the participant, if you have any question, you can write your question in the chat box or Q&A box also. So before moving to the next speaker, I have a few things to ask from you. You have any investment plan or investment that to attract the overseas, because stevia is a big market now, and it is growing every year. And India is one of the place after China, so you can attract many overseas partner to India. You have any plan to implement this?
We have a broad plan for this, but we've still not worked our numbers for investing, for inviting offshore suppliers or offshore partners for this venture. But what we are looking at is we would be supporting this industry with our technology and our equipment and systems for the initial stages. And if we have partners coming in from overseas with your acumen and your knowledge, they're most welcome. We can work together.
And are you using the latest formulation technology also? Because there are so many different varieties of stevioside. So A, B, C, D, and many.
Yes, what we found is, again, coming to the end side, the formulation side demands that we have more of Rebe than the other glycosides. So what we've been trying to isolate in the seedlings and saplings itself is varieties which have at least 10% total stable glycosides, of which 50% is herbicide A. This makes the entire game commercially viable.
Okay, sure. Thank you, Mr. Dasgupta. So if we move to the next speaker, Mr. Hikmatullah Aloy Rov. So he is a director at Experimental Pharmaceuticals, Stevia Alois Roxon, and Mr. Hikmatullah from Republic of Uzbekistan. Please.
Assalamu alaikum, dear participants of the international conference, dear ladies and gentlemen. We are very pleased to be participating in the international conference on medicinal plants used in lifestyle products. Because today we can say with pleasure that all the blessings created by Allah are priceless and dear to us human beings. Now, with your permission, let us present our presentation on the development and prospects of medicinal plant Stevia Surkhan in Uzbekistan. In that map, you can see geographical location of the Republic of Uzbekistan in center of Central Asia. Nowadays, the country's population in Uzbekistan is 34.5 million. Uzbekistan also becomes an observer in the Euro-Asian Economic Union. And as we know, members countries such as Russia, Kazakhstan, Belarus, Armenia, and Kyrgyzstan. If we look at the results of for the last 9 months of the 2020, we can say that the volume of imports of sugar and sugar products was $186.2 million. If we talk about this relationship with Uzbekistan and India, meeting of the President of the Republic of Uzbekistan, Shavkat Miromonovich Mirziyoyev, with the President of the Republic of India, Ram Nath Kovind, and Prime Minister Narendra Modi. India today is rapidly developing global country that is strengthening its position in the world economy. We appreciate the current pace of Uzbek-Indian relations, which is becoming more active as a result of our high-level meetings. I am confident that this visit and our fruitful talks will take our strategic partnership to a new level, said that the Shavkat Miromonovich Mirziyoyev, President of the Republic of Uzbekistan. And also, the President of the Republic of Uzbekistan took part in the Vibrant Gujarat International Investment Summit. It is well known that the 2nd century BC, the Indian land was connected with Central Asia by the Great Indian Road. Today, the creation of reliable trade and transport communication between the Central and South Asian markets is more important than ever. We are discussing the Trans-Afghan Railway project. In the future, this road will provide access to the South Asia, including India, through the port of Chakbahar. The most favorable condition will be created to attract investors to Uzbekistan. Uzbekistan is primarily interested in the implementation of promising projects in the chemical industry and energy, pharmaceuticals, textiles, leather, and the footwear, chemical industry, and tourism also. Due to the huge economic potential of Gujarat and its partnership with Andajan region, we propose to hold a business forum of Uzbek-Indian regions in Andajan, the birthplace of King Babur and the ancestor of great Akbar Shah this year. In Uzbekistan, to establish stevia cluster, which will process local raw materials grown in the plantation of medicinal stevia and supply products to the pharmaceutical and food industry. In this presentation, you can see local seed stevia surkhan, and next stevia seedling is grown from seed, and you can see also perennial stevia plantation and stevia raw material ready for processing, and stevia sweet life tea, and raw material packaging technology. You can see this product, and it is produced from our company, but in the future plans, we can say that complex technology for processing raw materials. And also, if we have complex technology for processing raw materials, we can produce product stevioside and riboside A. And let me talk about brief information about the experimental form stevia olayorahun. First of all, we are going to talk about our activity. Our experimental farm enterprise stevia olayorahun, operating in the Shorty district with typical subtropical climate of Surkhandarya region of the Republic of Uzbekistan has been approved by the Cabinet of Ministers of the Republic of Uzbekistan. Based on requirements of the resolution, on basis of approved order number 102 fee, approved the program cultivation of stevia and development of food production using it. And we can, if to tell about the achievements of our company since 1996, in collaboration with scientists from the National University of Uzbekistan and Tashkent State Agrarian University, stevia rebaudiana bertoni has been included in the state register of stevia rebaudiana himself, and the prepared seedlings were planted and cultivated in our joint research area. And scientific experiments were carried out on experimental plot, and in order to obtain seeds, which the plant was fully adapted to the climate condition of the local district and cultivated. As a result of this, high sweetness stevia in the leaf, 12.5%, which is 250 and 300 times sweeter than consumed sugar. Homeland of Paraguay, it is 6-7%, Russia 5%, and European standard it is 10 or 10.6%. In extract, 46%, and in powder, 72.8%. Perennial yield in the fourth year increases to 1.5 and 2 tons, and in subsequent years 2.5 and 3 tons steam and quantity. The new local form of stevia surkhan resistant to frost up to -14 degrees. Blooming naturally in the field and producing quality seeds was one of the first in the country. The results of our joint research have been summed up, and for the first time in science, a scientific and methodological manual, Fundamentals of Agricultural Technology for Growing Stevia from Seeds, has been published. And if we talk about expert, also we have some achievements. For example, zest on this basis contract number 0240 for the first crop of the Slovak Republic, agricultural stevia spole CRO was exported. Because on April 10 and 12, 2000 in Bratislava at a meeting of Uzbek-Slovakian Intergovernmental Commission, at the initiative of the Slovak company Stevia CRO, Stevia Inter CRO was held for joint cultivation and processing of stevia in Uzbekistan, agreed to establish a joint venture. However, the joint venture was not created because local government has instructed us to plant cotton and wheat on the land and set aside for planting stevia. And after independence, supported by our government, and finally, sincerely thanks to the creator, today the resolution of the Cabinet of Ministers of Republic of Uzbekistan number 251, dated August 29, 2015. And in accordance with the order number 1574 XX given by the President of Republic of Uzbekistan, Shavkat Miromonovich Mirziyoyev, during his visit to Surkhandarya region on February 10-12, 2017. Also, in accordance with the requirements of Decree of the President of Republic of Uzbekistan, number PP 4670, dated 4 October 2020. Step by step, work on the creation of medicinal stevia plantations on the basis of our enterprise on the area of 1,000 hectares of land in Sochi district is being carried out repeatedly. And Shavkat Mirziyoyev, who President of Republic of Uzbekistan, said that on 1,000 hectares of land, plantation of stevia, unique medicinal culture will be created for the pharmaceutical and food industries in the Sochi district. And our Stevia Surkhan company also participate in a lot of Innovation Week. For example, our company take an active part in the International Forum of Innovative Ideas Inno Week 2018, which was held on October 23-25, 2018 in Tashkent, and also was awarded gratitude literature from the Minister, Innovative Development of Republic of Uzbekistan. Also on October 21, 2019, the winner of competition for innovative projects of ministry certificate for the project creation of a cluster of stevia plantations in the Sochi district, processing of raw materials in industries supplied to pharmaceutical and food industries, export was given. And in this picture, you can see Tashkent Forum of International Innovative Ideas in a week 2018. And also stevia is medicinal plant, and it is also priceless thing which given by Allah. And this in this page you can see innovative projects belong to the stevia, especially in the field of pharmaceutical and food industries. For example, we can use the stevia for fight against diabetes, dietary, gluten-free, and products. And stevia is used for pharmaceuticals, food, cosmetics, and agriculture also. According to the IMRFC, the use of stevia extract around the world and to the pharmaceutical industry becomes 12%. And to the food industry, it is used 22%. In the manufacture of the confectionery products, it is used 18%. And in the preparation of soft drinks, it is used 48%. At the moment, stevia plantations have been created. Raw materials have been prepared for industrial processing. A seed fund has been accumulated, and plant seedlings are being prepared and in order to increase the area of plantation. However, thanks to partial processing of raw materials, stevia tea and the stevia bread, rye flour, and produced under the Stevia Sweet Life trademark, which are supplied to pharmaceutical and food industries. If we talk about the future plans, in order to expand the industrial processing of raw materials from stevia plantations at the Stevia Alayarahun experimental form, we plan to produce the ingredients, sweeteners, stevioside and riboside A in the cooperation with developed foreign companies and provide consumers with products made from these sweeteners. And we have also partnership offer it will be reliable and available and promising partnership. To this end, we propose to supply ready-made raw materials for stevia to foreign processing companies and cooperated in processing future-grown raw materials. You can see in this following years about our partnership offer, and this year, especially, it will be 20 tons. And next year, 2020, it will be 40 tons. And if we have there and 2023 and 2025, it will be 60, 90 tons of raw materials will be produced. And this page, you can see the stevia olerachin experimental form and stevia extractors also it was given, and you can see and if yes, this is this is about the open source international business forum which held on in 2019 in Termes, and it's also very useful for our olerachin experimental forum. Dear participants of the National Conference, in conclusion, I am pleased to inform you that stevia is a miracle of the creature's nature. Fortunately, this plant will become one of the sources guaranteeing the development of Uzbekistan in the 21st century, as well as a direct assistance to the health and longevity of all human beings, inshallah. Because in international medicine, in a body that regularly consumes stevia, it is said to rejuvenate cells and slow down organ aging. Therefore, I will invite you once again to further promising cooperation in the future to further expand the consumption of this medicinal plant of stevia in the pharmaceutical and food industries. Yours faithfully, Hikmatullah Allayarov, Director of the Company of Experimental Pharmaceuticals, Stevia Olerachin, the Republic of Uzbekistan. At the end, though, we can say we express our gratitude to the organizer of this international conference and to our dear friend, the founder of Janus Life Sciences, Mr. Shantanu Chakraborty, for the invitation to the conference. And sincerely yours, Stevia Olerachin, Experimental Foam Company from Uzbekistan. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much for your nice presentation. I think you nicely describe your current and future plan also in this area, which is very growing and very important also. And it's nice to see the relationship with Uzbekistan with India is growing day by day. I already received many questions in our chat and Q&A box, and I will go to each speaker at the end of the presentation. Now, I invite Mr. J.K. Rajagopal. Mr. Rajagopal is the Director of Dr. JRK Research and Pharmaceutical Private Limited, Chennai, a company that has long history of nearly 30 years in the field of manufacturing and marketing of well-researched and clinically effective herbal formulation in many health areas like psoriasis, vertigo, immune disorder, etc. So Mr. or Dr. Rajagopal is a mechanical engineering graduate from BITS Pilani and a business management graduate from XLRI Jamshedpur. Rajagopal has several years of extensive experience across the discipline and also different industry from automobile to pharmaceutical. And the company is known for its innovative approach and was recognized by the Confederation of Indian Industry as among 25 most innovative companies in India in last year. So I expect very good future direction from Dr. Rajagopal. So now stage is yours.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ghosh, and really happy to have a wonderful set of participants here today. And I welcome participants from Uzbekistan as well. Very happy to see people from all over the world. Thank you, ASOCAM, for organizing this event. So I do have a small presentation which I can take the team through. However, let me introduce myself and then also the company which I represent. My name is Raj Gopal. I'm Director of Dr. JRK's Research. It's a company, as Mr. Ghosh has already shared, it's a company which has been there in the existence for nearly 30 years. And we are focusing on the finished formulation which are coming from medicinal plants which have the origin in the Indian system of medicine, or called the Ayush system: Ayurveda, Yoga, Unani, Siddha, and the homeopathy. In my view, in our view, there are endless possibilities of collaborations which are there, I would say, both ways. In the Indian context, Indian research teams and manufacturers can certainly collaborate with overseas partners. In our field of experience, the products which are based on traditional medicine systems, the research outcomes, as you may have heard of the traditional systems of medicine, there are several thousand formulations which are there, which have been known for very good treatment efficacy for several centuries. They all need to get more modern in the way they are approached, presented, and also justified. So there is a huge partnership opportunity for global players, and the Indian companies can actually reach out the benefits of these systems of medicine across the country. And for overseas investors and buyers to collaborate with Indian markets, certainly many formulations and products can find health care solutions for many problems which are plaguing the world. I'm very happy to say that a lot of Indian traditional systems of medicinal products were actually sent out of India, including our company's products, during the global pandemic. And in some way, they have also helped in keeping the degree of the impact of the pandemic under control. So the possibilities are endless, and it can be both ways, is what our view would be. A little bit about ourselves. We are a research-based company. We make herbal ingredient-based formulations for the management of skin disorders like psoriasis. Psoriasis, as you can see on the right side of the presentation, is unfortunately a global phenomenon, with over 2% of the global population suffering from this problem. It's a skin disorder which actually has no known etiology. That means we don't know where and how it comes, but it's known as an autoimmune disorder. And similarly, vitiligo, which you can see on your left bottom screen, which is a skin disorder, which is typically a depigmentation of the skin. And then eczema, which is another global issue. Hair loss. Loss of hair is, people are today conscious of their good looks, as well as various stress and strain of modern day life results in hair loss. Pain management, huge portion of the global population is suffering from various kinds of musculoskeletal pains. So Dr. JRK's research has got research-based formulations for each and every of these problems. When we say research, our focus is not just on saying, it has come from a traditional system based on herbal medicines. No, we actually go into three key aspects of any good medicinal product which should be there. First and foremost, the safety of the product, which is a big concern for definitely for the patient or the end consumer, and most importantly for the treating medical practitioners who are. So safety, and when it comes to international regulatory requirements, safety of the product is one of the biggest things, and we have established safety through various preclinical and clinical trials. That is the first thing we. Then we also go into mechanism of action. That means how the product works. So we do laboratory evaluation. We have our own in-house setup, as well as we outsource from collaborations with leading institutions, as well as clinical research organizations, to establish how the product works. And last thing is clinically proving that the product actually works. Now we have understood the global regulatory requirements, and we have come out with a very unique herbal cosmeceuticals which have got a distinctive benefit for the end users. So cosmeceuticals, cosmetics preparations which have a distinctive use coming in the name of Verdura range has been our last few years innovation, and we have come out with formulations for skin disorders. So these products have actually got approved as formulations in Malaysia, Philippines, Thailand, which is there in the ASEAN side, Mauritius, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh in the Asian side, and then Jordan, Israel, Yemen, United Kingdom, and number of individual well-satisfied patients who have been there as who have been buying these products across the world. And all the Verdura range is useful for psoriasis, skin disorder, vitiligo, hair loss, or dandruff, another major problem, acne, the dry skin conditions. These are very common across the globe. Now the key thing is all of them are halal certified, particularly where countries and population of countries where they are looking for certifications which can be safe for their own consumption. We are a GMP certified and ISO 9001:2015 company, and we are very pleased to say that innovation in presentation of the product to meet the global as well as the modern lifestyle is something that we are very used to. Presenting the traditional products in an innovation way, which can be making patient compliance. There is no point in having a traditional product which is having a very good benefit, but at the end of the day, it's not very convenient for patients. So we come out with formulations which have huge patient compliance, and therefore we have been given this recognition by the CII as well as the SME India Forum. So these are the two areas which I thought I will share. There are many gray areas which are still requiring a lot of collaboration, which should be happening across countries and also between companies from India and outside India. First and foremost, when we come to export of products or import, both the partners on either side are a little unclear about the regulatory framework. So definitely when we collaborate, it will always be a great thing to share the regulatory framework of under what category a medicinal product or a medicinal plant or a finished formulation can be taken. So we have seen in our experience the traditional medicinal systems is not very easily recognized in many countries, except a few countries. They have their own system and they have a method for approving of the products. But otherwise, cosmetic and food supplements and drugs are areas which are requiring a lot of understanding between the working partners. The market understanding is quite often assuming that, okay, what works in one country in India automatically is saleable in the other country. It's not true. So we are looking for collaborators who can actually be partners to us. And there are millions, very different ways of promoting the products. So we have our collaborators and associates in the countries which I mentioned. They have all been focusing on the ethical sales. That means they are going and presenting the medicinal products to the doctors. But today the world is going digital. So there can be very innovative ways of reaching out to the consumers through B2C and B2B offline and online platforms. Our company always focuses on long-term relationship, and therefore we are not in the trade approach as like just manufacture and sell. So we are looking for certainly a long-term collaboration. As I mentioned, psoriasis, vitiligo, eczema, hair loss, pain management, these are things. And some of the pioneering effort in our company has been on particularly on medicinal plants. I would like to refer to one medicinal plant which our company pioneered in actually identifying the therapeutic property for the skin disorder called psoriasis is a herb called Wrightia tinctoria. I'll repeat, Wrightia tinctoria is a very an innovative formulation which came in the way of skin disorder management, and it has been proven very well established, researched by our company as well as, and we have some patented formulations as well. The other ingredient which we have also evolved a formulation. I was very happy to see a presentation from stevia. Diabetes is another huge global condition. We are currently working on the introduction of a very novel research formulation by the name D-CoD. D-CoD stands for diabetes and comorbidities of diabetes, which we are almost in the annual of introduction. Very happy to say that our platform for this is organ protection. That means many of the problems of diabetes come up in the future years of the patient as comorbidities in the vital organs of the patient. That means kidney can be damaged, retina is damaged. Now, one of the ingredients in this has been established with very good anti-diabetic as well as antiviral property is Andrographis paniculata. I'll repeat, Andrographis paniculata. It is called Kalmeg in Ayurveda or Sanskrit, and it is called Nilavembu in Tamil. Now, I'm very pleased to say that this particular ingredient, a formulation involving this ingredient has been also was originally identified for the management of viral epidemics like dengue and chikungunya. And the government of Tamil Nadu in India has actually actively, given out drugs which are useful for keeping the check of dengue, chikungunya, and most recently the COVID pandemic. So one of the ingredients, Andrographis paniculata, has got very good, very wide global opportunities for the management of problems like dengue. And now our company has stood out in the research for use of this medicinal herb in the management of diabetes, type 2 diabetes particularly, where there is no. So we have done a lot of research. We're looking for global collaborations. Our product was already well accepted in a few countries. Certainly, our products have also been used by many small patients and consumers. So it will be very great to see and hear business opportunities on both sides to emerge. And through this platform, I really look forward to hearing from many interested people, as well as it's a very big opportunity for all companies, both in the Indian and in the global thing, on becoming more and more relevant to the international populations. We have gained a lot by ensuring that the packaging and presentation of products which meet the global and the local standards, when it comes to also understanding the variations in patient profiles. For example, we may have done a clinical trial in Indian context, in Indian conditions, but some of the learnings we also get from understanding the patient profile. So when we collaborate, certainly there are many areas which can come off hand, both for business as well as academic interests. So we have also been the only company in India to introduce the Siddha system of medicines across the world and getting recognized as a drug. So Siddha is a system of medicine which has its origin in southern part of India, Tamil Nadu, and it's a recognized system. So we have taken this as a system of medicine across the world, and we are very happy to see many of our products for psoriasis, vitiligo, and immune disorders, etc., getting global acceptance. So we'll be very happy to see how collaborations can get created and enriched and create mutually beneficial business opportunities. And there are plenty of herbs. We use more than 100, 150 individual herbal products. We have gone down to the marker compounds on the phytocompounds, which are having the therapeutic properties. So certainly the world is very big, and I thank Asukan and the organizers of this session all the very best, and look forward to hearing from some of the participants on their questions or future opportunities as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Rajagopal. I think it's a really practical presentation from the different perspective also. As you mentioned, the crossing the regulatory barrier, that is most important in the different countries. And as I see from your slide, most of the country you entered, these are not a very strict regulatory country, except the UK. Maybe UK you entered through the food channel also. But all of your areas, that platform, the health platform, these are very important, particularly the psoriasis. It's a global problem, huge problem, and there is no definite solution also. And I have been working with many countries, including the many Indian industry also. And it is very interesting every day, like today also, I'm exploring a new company. They are completely dedicated to the clinical research, evidence-based natural medicine. It's very interesting. We started some collaboration with Ministry of Ayush, Australia-India collaboration. We signed a couple of MOUs also, both in clinical and educational area also. And I am working with a couple of Indian companies in Australia, New Zealand, that Oceania area. If you are interested, you can contact me. We can work how you can enter first the regulatory barrier, and then that partner with the different local companies also.
Thank you.
I think we have 3 presentation. Dr. Singh, as Dr. Bala mentioned, he is not presenting. I have a few questions. I can go to the respective people also. Okay, I think the first question, I think from Dr. Why the name is not coming? Anyway, the question is, which stevia varieties grown in India? I think if Mr. Dasgupta or Shantanu Chakraborty, you can answer.
We are not recommending about any specific variety so far. Right now, we are organizing a project funded by NMPB, where we are identifying the variety most suitable for Gangetic alluvial region. And for that, we are conducting decentralized multinational trials with 4 varieties. Originally, we started with 11 varieties collected from different parts of the world. And now we are zeroed down to 4 varieties. But the problem is there is no universal designation or name for those varieties. All those varieties are collected from different regions and they have their own indigenous name. So we have just allocated our own code to that. And what we found that these 4 varieties are suitable for Indian conditions, but there is no guarantee that a particular variety will be successful in any particular region. Whenever we start a new plantation anywhere, we start with conducting a small-scale field trial there with all the varieties and identify the variety which is performing optimally there. And then we go for in situ multiplication of that variety in that place and start the commercial plantation with that variety only. And that is the process we recommend for all the new startup plantations.
Good. The next question, I think Shantanu Chakraborty can answer. What is TSG and REB-A ratio?
That depends on the variety. TSG is actually total steviol glycosides, and REB-A is a specific glycoside, rhabdoioside A, and higher the content of rhabdoioside A, better the test profile of that glycoside mix. So we always look for varieties which produces higher quantity of REB-A and lesser quantities of other glycosides. And what we feel that to be globally competitive, we need varieties in which the REB-A and other glycoside ratio is around 7:3. That is 70% REB-A and 30% other glycosides.
Okay, and there is one question specifically to Shantanu Chakraborty. Why stevia import from overseas countries is not stopped since it is adulterated with synthetic sweetness?
We do not have any specific information about any steviol glycoside imported from abroad, which is mixed with synthetic sweeteners. Steviol glycoside should conform to either the US FDA specifications or WHO specification or our FSSI specification to be sellable here. And that is the situation. And if any incidence is found where steviol glycoside is adulterated with artificial sweeteners, that is to be dealt with very strongly. And I believe that that is the responsibility of our regulatory authorities.
There are a few messages from the Uzbekistan team also. You can read. They just mentioned some of their specification, price, and how they want to move forward in collaboration in this area. I think
if you
yes.
permit me, we are in close communication with the Uzbekistan company for quite a long time, and we are discussing about establishing an extraction unit there. And right now we are in the process of finalizing the modalities of establishment of extraction facility in Uzbekistan with joint investment.
That's great. Just my curiosity. We all know, I think China is the largest manufacturer of stevioside. Where is India? Top 5, top 10?
Extraction capacity wise and plantation area wise, I believe India is not even come within the first top 10 in the global scenario. In our case, our plantations are very small, fragmented, scattered all over the country. We do not have any commercial extraction facility here. Whatever small commercial extraction facility we have here, those are very small capacities and are amateurish in nature. So it's a nascent sector in our country. There is scope of growth. We have several advantages over China. In China, because of the climate, they can take only one harvest per year for stevia, and in most of the time they end up raising stevia as an annual crop. But in India, we can raise stevia as a semi-perennial crop, and we can have no less than 5 or 6 harvests per year. And yield-wise, in all our trial, we found that the annual yield is twice than that of China. But since our sector is unorganized, we could not derive any benefit out of that.
Sure. I have one question to Mr. Rajagopal. Are you there still?
Yeah. Okay,
Yes.
I just had some. Yeah, please.
You mentioned your manufacturing, that is GMP certified. What type of GMP? Is it a CGMP or Ayush GMP or that food GMP?
It's an Ayush GMP certification.
It's a Ayush GMP. As you know, most of the developed countries, they only accept CGMP or Pharma GMP product also. I think
Yes.
if you want to market or collaborate with overseas company, you need to upgrade your GMP status.
So we are working on that. I think your point is very right, and we are working towards understanding the requirement and also upgrading our infrastructure and our processes to ensure we are able to. I think very soon we should be able to present our application for that.
And all your clinical trial, these are all a double-blinded, placebo-controlled trial?
Yeah, we have most of the trials are getting registered under the CTRI, Central Clinical Trial Registry of India. And depending on the nature of the clinical trial outcome or what is the scope of the clinical trial, if it is efficacy, tolerability, and certain parameters which are need to be evaluated. So it is by and large so far it has been post-market trials, and as part of the trial methodologies which are accepted by the ethical committees, we undertake the methodology in line with the hypothesis which needs to be tested as well as the acceptable clinical methodology. So double blind is one of the many methodologies, depending on what is the proposed evaluation. So it varies.
And most of your product are multi-herbs formulation or single herbs?
Most of it, there is one product which is, as I said, very well known for the management of psoriasis. The first product which we had, it is named as Dr. JRK's 777 oil, 777 oil. That is a single herb formulation. And but over a period of time, we have evolved formulations which have multiple benefits, which in terms of clinical outcomes and also requirements for the patients and different stages of the diseases. So we do have many products which are polyherbal formulations. We have also a range of products which are single herb, which are coming under the category of classical traditional medicines. So, for example, you might have heard of Vivekananda somnifera, which is ashwagandha as we know it in Indian context. There are guduchi, which is giloy. You know, these are also products which we have, which are single herb formulations or single ingredient formulations, or extracts of the Indian gooseberry amla key is there. So we do have single herb formulations as well. But our research-based products formulations are typically polyherbal formulations.
Sure. Thank you very much, all our speaker. I think we don't have any other question in the chat box or Q&A. So thank you again for all participants. By saying that, I conclude this session. Thank you.